Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Give me a hand if you can hear me. Awesome. If you can get seated, we're going to go ahead and get started with this morning's session. It's just a joy to be with you. We're really grateful that you all made the trip to Washington, D.C. for what we think might be the first of its kind national conference on apprenticeship. So it's very exciting to see the energy across the country and here in D.C. on this model that I think we all really have some shared enthusiasm around. My name is Crystal Bridgman. I am the Senior Director for Workforce Development Programs for the Siemens Foundation. We have recently started a new initiative focused specifically on STEM middle skill development for young adults, of which apprenticeships is really a key a model for us that we've been working with. We've had the privilege of working with many of you and your colleagues in the field through the American Apprenticeship Initiative in partnership with the Department of Labor and the National Governors Association. And we're a very proud sponsor with our funding colleagues here of this conference. And so we are grateful for you all for being here and making the commitment. And now it's my pleasure and honor to introduce our next panel discussion. First, let me introduce you to David Etzweiler. He is the CEO of the Siemens Foundation. David was named CEO in October of 2013, which was a new role for the foundation, and was charged with expanding the reach and impact of the organization. As some of you may know, the Siemens Foundation supports innovation, research, and education in STEM. Under his leadership, the foundation has increased its focus on STEM efforts in workforce development in the United States specifically. Prior to joining Siemens, David led the Decade of Discovery in Diabetes, a partnership of the Mayo Clinic, the University of Minnesota, the state of Minnesota, all to improve the health and drive economic growth around this project. Before leading the Decade, David spent 13 years at Medtronic, most recently as Vice President of Community Affairs and Executive Director of the Medtronic Foundation. He's a graduate of Northwestern University and earned his Master's of Public Policy at the Claremont Graduate University in California and his JD from the University of Minnesota Law School. David's been an active member of numerous boards throughout his career, including the National Council of Foundations, where he chaired the Corporate and Global Philanthropy Committees. And he's currently a member of the Board of Directors for the Siemens Foundation and the World Affairs Council. And now it's also my privilege to introduce you to Governor Malloy. The governor is currently serving his second term as the governor of Connecticut. Since 2011, his administration's top agenda items have included creating jobs, improving public education, stabilizing the state's finances, making long overdue investments in the state's transportation infrastructure, and protecting the environment. Now, we only have a few minutes, so I'm not going to be able to give you his full list of accomplishments during those terms, but just allow me to highlight a few in those areas. Recognizing that one of Connecticut's best and most competitive resources, of course, is its well-educated workforce, the governor made education a focus of his economic development agenda, investing in schools at every level, including increasing funding for his local schools and at the pre-K level. He's also worked tirelessly with his state's higher education institutions to implement initiatives that are making Connecticut a major hub for research and development. Under Governor Malloy's leadership, the state has ushered in a series of policies aimed at addressing income inequality. Connecticut became the first state in the nation to pass minimum wage increase to $10.10 an hour and is the first to pass legislation guaranteeing sick leave for workers. Paid sick leave, that's the important part. After years of trying to pass an earned income tax credit, the governor signed a bill that provides a tax break for working families. In 2016, Governor Malloy was named the recipient of the John F. Kennedy Profile and Courage Award by the John F. Kennedy Library Foundation for his defense of the U.S. resettlement of Syrian refugees. And one of the things to really highlight here is that he was personally there to welcome a family of Syrian refugees to New Haven after they had been turned away by another state. Under Governor Malloy's leadership, the Connecticut Department of Labor was awarded $5 million to fund its Connecticut American Apprenticeship Initiative, A key component to this project is the introduction of competency, time-based hybrid models of apprenticeship. The project will enroll and serve 1,000 apprentices and pre-apprentices statewide in the high-demand industries of advanced manufacturing, healthcare, and business services. Significant commitments from employers, including General Dynamics, for apprenticeship placement, as well as from the Connecticut State Workforce Investment Board for support services, will ensure the sustainability of this program. Governor Malloy is the youngest of 8 children, was born and raised in Stamford, and served as the city's longest-serving mayor. And as a child, he struggled to overcome learning and physical disabilities, but eventually gaining the skills he needed to go on to graduate magna cum laude from Boston College and continue on to law school. He met his wife, Kathleen, at Boston College, and they have 3 sons. So please just join me in giving a very warm welcome to both David and to the governor.